Hello, sixth grade. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to multiply decimals. This first lesson, we'll look at multiplying decimals by whole numbers, and then we'll take a look in the next video about how to multiply decimals by decimals. So when you're multiplying decimals, it's a little bit different than addition and subtraction, and that key difference is you do not need to line up the decimal points for multiplication. In fact, if you try to, it's going to make it a lot more confusing. So don't line up the decimal points, but when you're multiplying, you should always estimate to get an idea of what the answer should be close to. So those estimation skills we practiced a couple of videos ago, we're going to do that here so we can get an idea of what our answer should be close to at the end. So number one, 6 times 0.95. Well, hopefully you know that 0.95 is really close to 1. 6 times 1 would be 6. So our answer to this should be pretty close to 6 at the end. Okay, we should get an answer that's close to 6. So when we multiply this, okay, we're going to treat this sort of as 95 times 6. Okay, so that decimal point there on the 0.95, for just a moment, we're just going to kind of ignore it. So I'm just going to treat this as 95 times 6. Well, 5 times 6, we're going to go back to old-fashioned multiplication. 5 times 6 is 30. I carry my 3. 6 times 9 is 54. And then if I add 3 to that, I get 57. So if it was 95 times 6, my answer would be 570. But because I was multiplying by 0.95, and 0.95 had 2 places after the decimal point, then I need to put in 2 places after my decimal point here in my answer. So my answer will actually be 5.70 or 5.7. Think about 5.7. Is that reasonably close to 6, which was our estimation? Yes, 5.7 is pretty close to 6, and so this is a reasonable answer here. Okay, number 2, 14.6 times 9. Let's use our estimation skills first. We know that 14.6 is close to 15. We know that 9 is close to 10, so an estimation for this might be 15 times 10, which is 150. Okay, that's what our answer should be close to. Now we'll go through and we'll actually multiply 14.6 times 9. So I'm going to treat this as 146 times 9, and I'm just going to remember that I have that decimal point there in between the 4 and the 6, and we'll save that for the end. So 9 times 6 is 54. I can carry my 5. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 5 is 41. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So I get 1314 here for my answer. Since there was one place to the right of my decimal point in the 14.6, my answer is going to have one place to the right of the decimal point. And so I get 131.4. Okay, think about your answer. Is 131.4 close to our estimation of 150? Yes. Okay, as your numbers get larger, close might mean by being off by more than 1 or 2. Okay, so 131 compared to 150 when we're estimating would be good here. But your answer should not be 13.14, nor should it be 1,314. Okay, that decimal point there can really have an effect on the size of your answer, so make sure it's in the right place. Okay, number 3, we have the decimal 0.0024 times 8. So let's think about this for a moment. 0.0024, well, if we rounded that down to 0, we would get 0 times 8, which is just 0. If we rounded 0.0024 up to 1, 1 times 8 is 8. So our answer needs to be somewhere between 0 and 8. Okay, somewhere between 0 and 8, probably closer to 0, since 0.0024 is a lot closer to 0 than it is to 1. So to multiply this, 0.0024 times 8, really this is going to be the same as 24 times 8. We're just going to have to be careful of how many decimal places we put in our answer. So 8 times 4, we know is 32. 8 times 16, or 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. Carry our 1. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 8 times 0 is 0. So we get 0, 1, 9, 2 here, and look at how many places were were to the right of the decimal point in our original decimal. There were 4, so we need to put 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right of the decimal in our answer, and we get 0.0192. Like we said, our answer needs to be between 0 and 8. It is. It's a lot closer to 0, which is what we expected, so this seems like a reasonable answer. Okay, the last problem is a word problem. It says, Amber has a dog walking business. She walks the Golden Retriever 1.8 miles each day, Monday through Friday for a week. How many miles does Amber walk the Golden Retriever? So the way you can tell this is a multiplication problem is 1.8 miles each day. That word each there typically means multiply anytime you see it in a word problem. Okay, we're going to multiply the number of miles she went in one day by the number of days she actually walked the dog. So how many days did she walk the dog? Well, it says for a week, but it also says Monday through Friday for a week. So that would be a total of 5 days. Okay, 5 days she walked the dog. So we're going to take 1.8 times 5. So if we use our estimation skills, 1.8 is close to 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So our answer should be close to 10. It's probably going to be a little bit lower since 1.8 is lower than 2. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry my 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. And there was 1 place after the decimal, so I'll put 1 place after the decimal here, and we get 9.0, or just 9. So our answer to this would be 9 miles. Anytime you have a word problem, I'd like you to answer that in a complete sentence. Okay, the complete sentences start with a capital letter, end with a period. So we could say, Amber walks the Golden Retriever, or you could just say the dog, 9 miles. As always, if you have any questions over what you saw in this video, make sure you ask those the next time you're in class. And until then, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people.